So I've had a couple questions about this homemade CNC machine. It's made on some plans available on the internet. The company or the fella that provides them, it's called V1 Engineering, and this particular model is called the Lowrider2. It falls under the mostly 3D printed category of machines. As you see, the yellow parts on this are 3D printed. And this particular machine can cut, it has a cutting area of 25 inches wide, so this way, and 36 inches this way. Normally the machine would have the axes flipped, where this axis would be the x-axis and this axis the y-axis, but I flipped them so that this axis is the x and this axis is the y. Because of the orientation, I had to put it down here in the, currently in my basement, in my messy little shop. So, and that was a bit of a feat to get that done. I had to do that in the firmware that goes on the motherboard. Speaking of the motherboard, it's running a Big Tree Tech SKR version 1.3, and the drivers are DRV8825. They're not the silent drivers. I didn't need silent drivers on a CNC machine that you're running the spindle. The spindle's very noisy, so and it has a touch screen. It's an MKS TFT28, and it's all been customized for the. It's usually meant for a 3D printer, but I've got it customized for the CNC machine. This machine is self-squaring, which means, as you see this gantry, right now the stepper motors are not engaged, so I can move any of these axes back and forth. And as you can see, this, I can kind of skew it so that it's, each side is out a little bit from each other. So what I can do is, if I go here, and it's going to be hard for me to see through the camera, so I go to the home setting. If I just tell it to home all, then it's going to try to, it'll self-square itself. Oh, and there it goes. And here comes the y-axis. So it has end stops. Whoa, I'm going to drop it. It has dual Z end stops, or Z end stops for my American friends, so that the gantry will level itself when it gets to the top. If one side is a little off, it will level it. The same with the X. If one side is skewed a little this way, it will. There's an end stop on that side, an end stop on this side, and it will square it, self-square it. And there was a bit of messing around to get those right. I've got a piece of, I don't know what that is. It's not acrylic. I saw it for sale on the Facebook Marketplace. This guy was selling a bunch of these sheets, and I thought, well, that may be cool for cutting letters out for signs or something. The base it's on is just a home built thing I made. Found some drawers on the side of the road, and so I keep a lot of the cutters and collets and things in there. The X and Y axis run on belts, as you can see. And it runs on inline skate wheels. So you got to be careful to keep this area clean. You don't want to get it running over too much, or you get some inconsistencies in the Z movement. The spindle is just a Makita trim router, handheld trim router with a custom mount, and it's got some various types of adapters for dust collection. I have a modified vacuum cleaner that I was using that it would hang from the ceiling, but I was running into problems with it clogging, so now I just use my shop vac and it seems to work fine. Other than that, the Z runs on dual lead screws, like a 3D printer does. I don't know if you can see down in there. Anyhow, I've got a laser module, a 30-watt laser, diode laser on order that should be here, and who knows when, since it's coming from China. Could be a month. But I think I'll try and mount it here somewhere, and that will be an interesting thing to play with. Anyhow, if there's any questions, you know where to put them.